In today's world, love is often seen as a safe space, a place where people find comfort, understanding, and peace. But Love and Rules challenges that idea completely, presenting a harsh and emotional reality where love becomes a tool for control, and survival becomes more important than happiness. This powerful Nollywood drama tells the story of a young woman trapped in a toxic relationship with her boyfriend, and a wealthy man whose obsession with money has stripped him of basic human empathy at its core. The film explores how power, whether emotional or financial, can be used to dominate and suppress others. The movie opens with tension already in the air. We meet the young woman in what seems like a normal domestic setting, but it doesn't take long to realize that something is wrong. She is constantly working, cleaning, organizing, doing everything she can to maintain order in the house she shares with her boyfriend. Yet, despite her efforts, there is no appreciation. Instead, there is control. When she tries to step out to go to work, her boyfriend immediately questions her. His tone is not supportive or curious, it is restrictive. He delays her, challenges her decisions, and subtly tries to stop her from leaving. What should be a simple act, going to work, turns into a confrontation. This moment is very important because it establishes the foundation of their relationship. He does not see her as a partner. He sees her as someone he must control. Even more troubling is the fact that he demands money from her while simultaneously preventing her from earning it freely. This contradiction reveals the depth of his manipulation. He wants the benefits of her effort without allowing her the freedom to grow. The film makes it clear that this is not love, it is dependency enforced through control. As their interactions continue, we see how emotionally draining the relationship has become for her. She is constantly explaining herself, defending her actions, and trying to keep the peace. But peace never comes, and this is where the film becomes painfully realistic, because many people find themselves in relationships where they are not physically tied down, yet emotionally trapped. The fact that he is her boyfriend and not her husband makes the situation even more significant. It highlights how toxic dynamics are not limited to marriage. Any relationship can become suffocating when respect is absent. While her story unfolds, the film introduces us to a second major character, a wealthy businessman who appears to have everything: money, power, influence. But beneath that surface lies a man deeply disconnected from humanity. He is extremely stingy, calculating, and obsessed with control. Every kobo matters to him, not because he lacks money, but because he fears losing it. His life revolves around making profit and avoiding loss at all costs. One of the most striking scenes in the movie involves something as simple as sugar. When he notices that the sugar level has dropped faster than expected, he immediately confronts his house help. Instead of asking calmly, he turns it into an investigation. He calculates dates, measures usage, and concludes that there has been waste. What follows is not just correction, it is intimidation. He threatens to deduct the cost from the worker's salary, reinforcing his belief that every action must have a financial consequence. This scene may seem small, but it carries a powerful message. To him, people are not human beings. They are expenses. Even in moments of success, his mindset does not change. After securing a deal worth millions, he refuses to give a reasonable tip to his lawyer. Instead, he complains about the idea of spending money at all. His philosophy is rigid: make money, protect money, never spend unnecessarily. But in living this way, he has built a life that lacks warmth, compassion, and connection. Back to the young woman, her situation continues to worsen. Her boyfriend becomes more aggressive, more demanding, and more destructive to her progress. His actions eventually lead to a major consequence: she loses her job. This moment is devastating. Not just because she loses income, but because it represents the cost of staying in a toxic environment. She tries to survive. She tries to endure. But there is only so much a person can take. Finally, she reaches her breaking point. And she leaves. No grand speech. No dramatic exit. Just a quiet decision to walk away. This moment is one of the most powerful in the film because it reflects real life. Leaving a toxic relationship is rarely dramatic, it is often a silent act of courage. With nowhere to go, she finds herself on the streets, vulnerable and uncertain. It is here that fate intervenes, bringing her into contact with the wealthy businessman. At first, it seems like a miracle. He offers her a place to stay, food to eat, work to do. After everything she has endured, it feels like a second chance. But the film does not allow us to relax, because we already know the kind of man he is. And so the question lingers, is this truly help or just another form of control? As she begins working in his house, the answer slowly reveals itself. While he provides her basic needs, his behavior remains harsh and controlling. He monitors everything she does, complains about minor issues, and threatens salary deductions at every opportunity. When she accidentally damages his clothing while ironing, his reaction is immediate and unforgiving. Instead of understanding that mistakes happen, he calculates the cost and declares that her salary will cover it. Again, we see the same pattern. Rules over empathy. Control over compassion. However, the film begins to introduce subtle changes. The presence of this young woman starts to challenge his perspective. Her humility, resilience, and willingness to work begin to create small cracks in his rigid mindset. At the same time, she begins to heal slowly, cautiously. She starts to regain a sense of self. She is no longer under her boyfriend's direct control, and that alone gives her room to breathe. But the environment is still not ideal. She has escaped one form of control, only to enter another. And this duality is what makes Love and Rules such a compelling story. It forces the audience to confront uncomfortable truths. Not all help is genuine. Not all shelter is safe. And not all opportunities lead to freedom. Another powerful moment in the film is when the businessman casually suggests finding a child from a poor family to work for him cheaply. He speaks about it as if it is a normal transaction, completely ignoring the ethical implications. It is a chilling reminder of how far removed he is from empathy. Yet, despite all this, the film does not present him as completely beyond redemption. There are moments, brief but noticeable, where he reflects, hesitates, or shows signs of awareness. These moments are important because they keep the story balanced. They remind us that people are capable of change, but only if they are willing. As the story builds toward its climax, the emotional tension intensifies. The young woman must decide what kind of life she truly wants. Survival is no longer enough. She needs dignity, respect, and freedom. And the businessman must confront the consequences of his actions. Will he continue living by rules that isolate him? Or will he learn that true value lies not in money, but in people? The film does not rush these answers. Instead, it delivers a conclusion that feels real and earned. Not perfect, but meaningful. Final Thoughts: Love and Rules is more than just entertainment. It is a mirror reflecting real-life struggles. It teaches us that love without respect is not love. Control can exist in any relationship, even without marriage. Money without empathy creates emptiness, and true freedom begins the moment you choose yourself. This is a story of survival, growth, and the courage to walk away from what no longer serves you. Disclaimer: this movie review is based on content from Uchenambunabov 02. All rights belong to the original creators. No copyright infringement intended. Call to action. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Love and Rules, don't forget to subscribe to Flicks and Feels for more powerful Nollywood movie reviews, emotional breakdowns, and real-life inspired stories. You don't want to miss what's coming next. A conclusion that feels real and earned. Not perfect, but meaningful. Final Thoughts: Love and Rules is more than just entertainment. It is a mirror reflecting real-life struggles. It teaches us that love without respect is not love. Control can exist in any relationship, even without marriage. Money without empathy creates emptiness, and true freedom begins the moment you choose yourself. This is a story of survival, growth, and the courage to walk away from what no longer serves you. Disclaimer: this movie review is based on content from Uchenambunabov 02. All rights belong to the original creators. No copyright infringement intended. Call to action. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Love and Rules, don't forget to subscribe to Flicks and Feels for more powerful Nollywood movie reviews, emotional breakdowns, and real-life inspired stories. You don't want to miss what's coming next.